Sure, here's a 1600-word YouTube story article without headings based on your title. The lunch rush was in full swing at Golden Spoon Bistro, one of the most popular restaurants in the city. Waiters darted between tables with trays piled high, customers chatted over steaming plates, and the manager, Rick, stood by the counter barking orders at everyone. He prided himself on running a tight ship, but behind the scenes, the staff knew another version of Rick, a man who cut corners, yelled at employees, and ignored complaints. Today, however, something unusual was happening. A tall, calm man in his mid-40s entered the restaurant wearing a plain gray hoodie and jeans. No one recognized him. He looked like any other customer, but in truth, this man was Marcus Bell, the founder and owner of the entire restaurant chain, a self-made millionaire who started his first soup kitchen from scratch 20 years ago. Marcus had launched a secret project, to go undercover and visit his restaurants unannounced. He wanted to see how his employees were really treating customers when no one was watching. He believed in fairness, kindness, and quality. But lately, complaints had been piling up about Golden Spoon Bistro. Reviews mentioned rude staff, bad service, and even unsanitary food. Marcus wanted to see for himself. He quietly took a seat near the corner window. A young waitress named Lily approached, looking nervous but polite. "Welcome to Golden Spoon, sir. Would you like to start with something to drink?" she asked softly. Marcus smiled. "Just water for now, and I'll have your special soup of the day." She nodded and hurried to the kitchen. Marcus watched her carefully. She seemed overworked, her uniform slightly wrinkled, her eyes tired, yet she moved quickly and treated each customer with respect. When she reached the kitchen, Marcus could hear Rick's voice booming from inside. "What's taking so long with table 4 soup? Move it. Don't talk back. You'll serve it as is. We don't waste ingredients here." Marcus frowned. As is. He waited quietly. Moments later, Lily returned with a bowl of tomato basil soup. "Here you go, sir. Fresh from the kitchen," she said with a forced smile. Marcus thanked her and lifted his spoon. The aroma was decent, but something felt off. As he stirred the soup, a sharp reflection caught his eye, a tiny glint beneath the surface. He froze. Carefully, he dipped his spoon in and lifted out what looked like a small shard of glass. His stomach twisted. He set the spoon down slowly. Lily noticed and gasped. "Oh my God, is that?" "Yes," Marcus said quietly. "It's glass." She looked terrified. I'm so sorry, sir. I don't know how that happened. Let me get the manager right now." Rick came striding out moments later, his fake smile plastered on his face. "What seems to be the problem here?" Marcus calmly pointed to the glass shard. "This was in my soup." Rick's smile vanished. "What? That's impossible." He snatched the spoon, glanced at it, and then shrugged. "Probably just a little plastic piece from packaging. Nothing to make a scene about. You'll get a free dessert, okay?" Marcus's expression didn't change. "You think a piece of glass in a customer's food isn't serious?" Rick scoffed. "Look, accidents happen. You want another soup or not?" "We're busy," Lily whispered. "Rick, this isn't right." "Quiet, Lily," Rick barked. "Go clean table 6. I'll handle this." Marcus's voice dropped, cold and steady. "I think you've handled enough." Rick crossed his arms. "Excuse me." Marcus stood up slowly. "You don't know who I am, do you?" Rick rolled his eyes. "A customer with an attitude, that's what." Marcus reached into his pocket, pulled out a black leather wallet, and placed an employee access card on the table, one that clearly read, "Marcus Bell, founder and CEO." The room went silent. The waiters stopped moving. Rick's face drained of color. "Why you're Mr. Bell." "Yes," Marcus said, his tone calm but firm. "And you just served me glass in my food." Lily stepped back, eyes wide in disbelief. The other staff gathered near the kitchen door, whispering. Rick stammered, "Sir, I had no idea." "That's the problem," Marcus interrupted. "You didn't care who it was. Whether it was me or anyone else, you would have dismissed it. You've been cutting corners, yelling at your staff, and putting customers at risk. I've read the complaints. I wanted to see for myself. And now I have." Rick's mouth opened, but no words came out. He tried to defend himself. "Sir, you don't understand. We're short-staffed, the supplier." Marcus raised a hand. "Enough. You've had every chance to run this place responsibly. But you chose arrogance over safety. You're done here." Rick blinked in shock. "You're firing me?" "Right now," Marcus said, his voice steady. "Hand over your keys and leave." Lily gasped softly. The staff looked both stunned and relieved. Rick turned red with anger and embarrassment. You can't just. Marcus's eyes narrowed. Try me. Rick hesitated, then slammed his keys on the table and stormed out, muttering curses under his breath. The restaurant was dead silent for a moment. Marcus turned to the staff. Everyone, gather around, he said. They quickly assembled, cooks, waiters, dishwashers, all nervous, unsure what would happen next. Marcus took a deep breath. I started this restaurant to give people good food and honest jobs. I built it from nothing. But somewhere along the way, people like Rick forgot what this place stands for: respect, quality, and care. I won't tolerate anyone endangering my customers or mistreating my staff. Lily spoke softly. Sir, thank you. You don't know how bad it's been. He made us reuse leftover soup, skip cleaning, even yell at customers who complained. Marcus nodded. I believe you. And that's going to change, today. He looked at one of the older cooks, a man named Sam who had been quietly wiping his hands on his apron. How long have you been here, Sam? 10 years, sir, Sam said humbly. Marcus smiled. You're the new manager. I know your work. You've always been consistent. I've seen your reports. Sam's eyes widened. Sir, I don't know what to say. Say you'll help me make this place better again, Marcus said warmly. Sam nodded quickly. Yes, sir, absolutely. Marcus turned to Lily. And you, thank you for your honesty and kindness. You treated me like a person, not a paycheck. Starting today, you'll be promoted to senior server, with a pay raise. Tears filled Lily's eyes. Thank you, sir. I don't know what to say. You've already said enough, Marcus replied with a smile. He then addressed the entire team. We're shutting down for the day. I want this kitchen deep cleaned. Throw out anything that's been reused or expired. Tomorrow morning, we start fresh, new ingredients, new attitude, new rules. The team erupted in quiet applause. For the first time in months, they felt hopeful. As the staff got to work, Marcus sat back down and looked at the untouched bowl of soup. He stared at the glass shard glimmering under the light and thought about how close this could have come to hurting someone, a child, an elderly customer, anyone. When the cleanup finished, he called Lily over again. Tell me something, he asked. Why didn't you just walk away when things got bad here? Lily hesitated. Because this was my first real job. I needed it, and I believed maybe one day someone would notice. Marcus smiled, softly. You were right, and you just helped save this restaurant. By the next week, Golden Spoon Bistro reopened under new management. The atmosphere was completely different: fresh food, smiling staff, and spotless counters. Customers noticed immediately. Reviews poured in online. The service is amazing again. You can taste the love in the food. Whatever changed, keep it that way. A local journalist even ran a story about the sudden turnaround. No one outside the restaurant knew that the mysterious man in the gray hoodie, the one who found a shard of glass in his soup, was the very person who built the brand from the ground up. Marcus visited again weeks later, this time openly. The team greeted him warmly, and the customers were happy. The smell of fresh bread filled the air, and laughter replaced fear. As Marcus looked around, he felt proud, not because he was the CEO, but because he'd restored the soul of the place. Before leaving, he pulled Lily aside once more. How's it going? She smiled brightly. Better than ever, sir. Sam's great. We all work like a team now. And the customers love it. Marcus nodded. Good. Remember, it's not just about food. It's about people. That's what keeps a restaurant alive. Lily nodded firmly. Yes, sir. As Marcus walked out, he glanced back one last time at the sign above the door, Golden Spoon Bistro. The gold letters gleamed in the sunlight, just like the dream he had 20 years ago. He smiled to himself. Sometimes it takes finding a piece of glass in your soup to see who's really been breaking the glass ceiling of decency and care. And as the door closed behind him, everyone inside knew one thing for sure: the boss might not always be visible, but his values always are. Would you like me to also write a YouTube description and 5 thumbnail promo ideas for this story next?